We're good. You can hear me. It's all good.
I'm sorry, what? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Audio's working.
Yeah, good.
All right. You'll see me
All right.
wet my nose a lot. Sorry, it's running.
You do that on camera?
I just did.
Okay. All
We're
right.
we're now broadcasting live.
All right,
So
cool. It's still like we're talking anyway.
yeah. So anyway, um, a
You're
lot of
starting
people.
a conversation with so anyway. We haven't been talking.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready.
So kiss
Oh,
my butt. So
no.
anyway,
Good morning.
good Okay, good morning.
Good morning. See, there you go. All right.
Um,
Oh,
let's
sorry.
see. So basically, it's kind of interesting because I've told people about you,
Yeah.
and it's so weird because if people know you, they know what you and Charles have in common personality
We
wise.
call him Charles.
Because I we can call him Charles,
Yeah.
but
Well,
nobody knows why I'm calling him Charles.
well all right. I mean, I'm going to call him Chaw,
I don't
probably in
care.
this. All
Okay,
right.
our brother's nickname is Charles. I don't know
Well,
why.
I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah, you
Do
do.
you?
Yeah.
You know why we call
Yeah,
him
you don't know
Charles?
why?
No,
Because mom was from Brooklyn and she always called Charlie. Half of Charlie is Chaw.
that was it.
That was it. It's nothing really fancy.
Do you know what the name of the show is because of, right?
Yours?
Yeah,
The one I'm on now?
yeah.
No, I have no idea.
You don't know the name?
No, no, no. I
It's right
mean,
on the screen.
my brother Jim?
No, the logo between us. Can you not see F as in Frank?
No, I don't have that.
What?
I only have like a little small one of you and a small one of me and a bunch of other buttons. It doesn't matter. I don't care.
Okay, we might as well fix this live on the air. Okay.
Fine.
So, do you have buttons above that say duo, solo, presentation, auto?
I do.
Okay.
Those
Hit duo.
duo is hit.
Good morning, double bacon. Did you hit duo?
I did.
Okay.
All right.
And we're still tiny?
Yeah.
Okay. The show's called F as in Frank.
All right.
I don't know why you can't see it on the screen.
I
But
can't.
you
Do you want
don't.
me to get a screenshot?
No.
Okay.
We'll work on it later.
All right.
I doubt you're going to be on a lot, but who knows? Maybe you will. Um, do you happen to know? Hey, Chris, what's going on? Do you happen to know why it's called F as in Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Because, like, I've told people already. They ask me every week, who's Frank?
Because when you spell Scalfani over the phone, it's SCALF as in Frank, ANI.
Exactly. And we remember as kids, we used to joke about it when mom would do it. We go, there she goes again. F as in Frank.
No, I don't remember joking about
Oh,
that.
maybe me and Charles did it.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, so if people have grown up with you or have been with you quite a while, they can see the similarities between you and Charles,
Yeah.
okay, or Charles. Um, but if they met you day one, they would be blown away. They'd be like, "These guys are nothing alike."
Okay. So I think blown away is maybe a little dramatic. I don't know that they're going to be like, "Oh my god, I met Jim and I was totally blown away." But
Okay,
I think they would. I think if they met me and then they met Charles, they would be like, I can see they're brothers. I'm I'm just not. I'm not like Charles. I'm just not like him.
I know you're
Yeah.
completely different,
Yeah.
but yet I know the similarities
Yeah. I
because
mean,
I've been around you long enough.
and I think if anybody's watching, that they're probably going to see some similarities that
Jay Gatsby said hi. I don't know if you can you see the chat?
I can.
Okay. He said, "Hey Jim, hey Jack.
Hey.
What's up, Gatsby?" Um, so I wanted to bring you on just to talk about I literally talked about you yesterday. What was it? On a video I recorded. And I was explaining that we're all different. We all do different things, but I honestly believe whatever we do the best. Okay. So like you do product design, you do creative stuff. You can make something out of nothing. And I said yesterday, I said Jim could be in the middle of the desert with nothing, and he could create something wonderful.
Okay. Wow. That's I don't even say that. And so all right. I don't consider myself a designer. So a product developer is different than a designer,
Did I
right?
say designer? I thought it said product
No, you
development.
said design. You said
Oh,
product design, which is fine because everybody
well,
gets that wrong.
well, what do I say that you do then?
So there's a difference. Think of the buyer as at one end and the designer is at the other end. And the designer designs, right? They take inspiration from everything around them, current trends. What's what's happening in the market is not something they look at. Look, they might look at another retailer to get some inspiration, but they're not looking at the market and saying, "Hey, like Target has this color orange and Walmart has this color orange, and I think I'm going to do this color orange." They're not doing that. So they're saying, "What's the best color orange that I need to do for this product?" So the buyer is saying, "I need to have 4,000 pieces of orange," and it's the product developer, the one in the middle, that actually says to the designer, "This is the color orange because we'll sell more." And buyer, you need to make sure you're buying 3,500, not 4,000. So it's the one in the middle because the buyer has to take care of factories and shipping and marketing and um, inventory, um, shipping, meaning within the US and then overseas and then getting it from the factory. The buyer tracks all of that. So to expect that the buyer is going to also know, hey, you need 3,500 and it needs to be this red orange and not an orange red is like, so there's a product developer that sits right in the middle and kind of it does, because if you've ever seen a buyer and a designer, they speak really different languages. And so the product developer has to kind of be in the middle of both, has to
Oh,
speak.
you're the liaison.
Yes, but as well as making sure and tweaking the strategy for the most outcome. So the buyer is strictly about numbers, and
Right.
the designer is just strictly about the design of the product. The product developer is the one that says the assortment needs to be complete. To have men's clothing and you want to completely do all men's clothing and not have like a t-shirt, whether it's color or white, doesn't make any sense. So you have to just make sure that, you know, the product developer or somebody has to do that part. Usually if there's no product developer in small companies, it's the brand manager or something, but somebody has to do that.
All right. So let me take an exact example. So you were working for Walmart, okay?
Yeah. I loved working for Walmart too.
Oh, and there you handled their candles, right?
I worked in decor. I did.
Okay. And so did somebody say, because I know one of the high points was you put more fragrance in your candles than
Mhm.
Yankee Candle, or
So
able to at
at
least.
the time that I was competing against Yankee Candle, Yankee was doing, I think, what they call top fill.
Right.
So they put lesser percentage in the majority of the candle, and they do the top part with a higher percent, so that if you smell the candle, you can smell it. And then their thought is that as it burns, that higher percent seeps down.
So
So
so let's say, do you follow instruction or do you give instruction? For example, did somebody turn to you and say, "We need more fragrance. Help
no,
me."
no,
Okay. Then you turned to them and said, "We need to do more fragrance."
right,
Got it. Okay. So
right.
you give the direction,
Yep.
not
And I tell
followed.
them, yep. And so I'll meet with the fragrance house and say the top note doesn't feel right, or the middle note is a little too earthy. And so, Yeah, I mean, the buyer isn't going to know that. I mean, the buyer doesn't
Okay.
have time to kind of get into each SKU and the assortment and go, look, that fragrance is not right. One of the fragrances that I worked on for Walmart was at the time the buyer wanted. God, this is going probably the early. I want to say 2008 maybe. Um, and the buyer wanted to get rid of green candles because we just couldn't sell them. We just couldn't sell them. The fragrance was awful, and so
Really?
yeah. But this was way back in 2008. Green
Was
was
it
not a color.
was it the fragrance or the color?
It was both. And so the color was really kind of cartoony looking, and it wasn't like a traditional dark pine green
Like
that
a
they
Kelly
currently
green?
have. Not a Kelly green, a
Okay,
pine green, a dark
got it.
green.
Okay.
The green they have today.
Yeah.
So I said, look, give me one time. Let me just give me one more time. Let me see if I can come up with the best fragrance. So I went to um, Ralph Lauren's mansion. It's the store. It's the flagship store. I think they call it the mansion. I think
Right.
in New York. And I bought a candle. I bought a small little votive candle, and that little votive candle was like $175. It was like it was
Have you
Walmart.
ever spent that much on a candle?
No, but that candle was amazing. That and you could light it. You could light it for like 5 minutes, and it had like a fragrance load of like I don't know 20 something crazy. I'm not even that high, but like crazy. Like so, a normal candle might be anywhere between 3 and 5, and
3 and
so
5
this
what?
percent.
Oh,
Um, and then this candle was it was amazing. And so I brought it back to Arkansas and I put it in the middle of the table and I invited the top 7 fragrance houses. I said, bring a spoon to the meeting. Bring a spoon to the meeting. So I said, each take a scoop. I said, the one that comes closest to this can get the business. And so it was a big dollar business and everybody worked really hard. And there were 4 suppliers that got really close. And it's still the fragrance it's still the fragrance they use for Christmas today.
so
It's still
somebody just wrote that Yankee candles have no throw these days.
right.
Does that mean something?
Yeah, so they don't because look, Yankee Candle got bought and sold, and I don't know who runs Yankee Candle. I think Walmart has involved some way with it because they do a big program. I don't know if it's a
Generically, right?
huh? Yeah.
You mean generically, right? They use
Yeah, yeah, they get involved. But look, I mean, a lot of what Yankee does, I think they still have at Walmart, and so
right.
I don't know. Yeah, the I'm forgetting if the throw is the initial fragrance smell. And so,
So that's a jargon. That's term.
yeah, yeah,
Got
yeah. And it's Yankee Candle used to be amazing. I haven't picked up one. I don't really know. But yeah, they used to be amazing.
Okay. Do you mind if I dive into what you do currently?
No, I mean, it's kind of boring.
Okay. If you explain boring to regular folk like me and the people in the chat,
Oh,
how
I'm
would you
regular folk. I just think I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm over,
over what?
over merchandising.
For what products? Kind of products are we talking about?
So I work for a Chinese company that is starting business, has business currently in the US. And it has a lot of products online and in retailers. And I'm in charge of the merchant and product development for the Chinese company that. So,
And before I get all the anti-Chinese comments, it's the same as like if you went to Walmart. I mean,
so,
they deal with China.
so let me tell you, it's real different. It's not the same as Walmart, to be real
Oh,
honest.
I'm
I,
sorry. Never
no, no,
mind.
no, that's okay. I think I deal with the people. I don't deal with the government, so I don't really know the government. You'd have to kind of ask them. But
Nah,
the people, but it's so funny. I go to China a lot. They love the U.S. They love us in a way that no other country does.
You
They
mean the
they know
businesses or the people, the general people?
the people and
Oh,
the businessmen, and they talk about us. They want to they want to know our brands. They want to know. They think they love our movies. They love apple pie and baseball. They track our culture way more than we do. They love our TV stuff. They want to look like this. They want
we
to
don't
act
even
like
get
us.
our culture.
But they really really love us, and I just have never met, and I've been all over the South and the East and
Right,
Central China, and
right.
it's always the same. It's so interesting.
So now, question: I've seen pictures of some of the meals that you eat over there, like your breakfast. You said it was really
All
good.
right, so you're kind of breaking up, but I think you're asking about the meals I eat.
Oh,
Oh, now you're fine.
okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'm good over here.
at work.
Say, yeah, no, what were the meals you took snapshots
Yeah,
and would send to me? China eats kind of differently than
they
we
eat
do, of
way
course.
different. Not kind of. They eat way differently than we
So
do.
what's a normal breakfast look like?
I don't. I don't know. I mean, I don't eat. I mean, when I go, I'm in an American hotel there, so I eat eggs and bacon. So they, I wouldn't even know what it's called. But
It looks cool, and you said it was good.
yeah, I love the food. I love the food. I love the food.
Right,
Look, I mean, I love any food. I love Italian and Chinese and Mexican. I love Mexican
right.
food. So I mean, I love all food. So, but they're at the company I'm at. They make they part of it is they have a chef on site, and so you can they make your lunch and dinner and for free. It's great. I love the food, and the guy who makes it for everybody, he's great.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know you're in California right now.
I'm in California.
Okay, I gotta ask you, do they still have Zanku chicken?
What?
A place called Zanku Chicken. It's a Middle Eastern chicken, and they had many locations in California.
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, dude! I just hit my microphone.
I have
I'm
no
so
idea.
excited. Their chicken, it's Middle
Zenku,
Eastern Zanku,
Zankou.
Zankou.
I have
Yeah,
no idea. I have no
and
idea.
literally, this stuff's amazing. You would love it. Middle Eastern flavors on
In
like
chicken,
quarter.
is
Yeah,
it like a? Is it like a? Is it like a Kentucky Fried Chicken
no,
place?
it's more like a. It's not fried. It's baked, like
But I mean, it
seasoned.
competes. It competes with like churches
It
and.
don't compete with anybody. It's that good.
I have no.
If you've never been, you need to go. I don't even know. Hold on a minute. Where in California is Zanku chicken?
What?
Hold on.
One option I found is
She speaks. She's
In
got a
Westwood.
British accent.
Yeah,
perfect. I can call that location or get directions. Which would you like?
Where's it located?
directions. I'll let,
Which Zanku chicken?
there's on Sepulveda.
Oh, it's only 70 miles away from here. It's in
Say
LA.
again.
It's in LA.
Yeah. Well, there's many locations.
Oh,
Glendale. I mean,
no.
there's a few. Dude, if you see one, go to it. It used to be my favorite.
You're much more of a foodie than I am.
Of course. Look at
No,
me.
no,
Look
I'm
at
just saying.
you.
I mean, I'm not. I people are like, oh, like if you try this, you see this. I'm like, I'm not gonna go. I don't think about what
Imagine baked chicken with
God.
Mediterranean seasoning all over it.
Okay, I will.
Like it, you'd find it that kind of chicken in a shawarma place.
Sh-
Shawarma.
Shawarma.
You don't know what shawarma is?
I know I should know that word.
Do you know what a euro is?
I know what a euro is.
It's a euro, a shawarma. It's made differently, but it tastes
Oh,
just like a
shawarma is
euro.
food.
Yeah, it's a Middle Eastern like with a pita filled with
Shawarma.
lamb usually.
Well, what's the shawarma part? I
Uh,
just like saying the word.
hold on a
What's
minute.
the,
Hold on,
what's
I
the
gotta scratch my nose here.
Jack? I can't believe you would do that.
What? I had an itch. Anyway, Sorry, I didn't mean to detour on a chicken, but if you
Yeah.
get a chance, go. Just stop.
All right.
Just stop and go.
All right.
And you'd be like, and it's healthy. It's baked. It's not fried. It's not coated. It's seasoned and baked.
Okay. All right.
It's
If I see
amazing.
one, I will go. I will try it out.
And then you guys have that bakery that's on Beach Boulevard, right across from Movie Land. That new bakery on Beach, across from Movie Land Wax Museum. You don't
I really want to go. Oh my god, I love that bakery. I have no idea.
they have one in Downey too.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Yeah, it's
Like,
stop it.
I
Anyway,
mean, I don't know. I
I
don't
know
know
you
that.
don't get off on food. I
I
know,
don't.
but you
I
know you live in one of the best food places ever.
Yeah, I'm
Totally.
lucky.
There isn't a nation I can't eat in California. Literally, I could go to any nation. El Salvador. I could go Syria,
El
Egypt.
Salvador. Boy, you're picking some really great. I have never had Syrian food.
You've never had Syrian, really? Have
Syrian
you had
food?
Egyptian?
Yeah, it's
So you've
good.
had moussaka. It's the
Uh, I,
eggplant, tomato sauce,
I have.
eggplant.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what it's called.
Yeah,
I've
it's
had
called
it. Okay.
moussaka. It's
Yeah.
probably their most famous dish.
What's the yellow rice?
I don't eat rice. Ugh. Yeah, I never.
I mean, it's kind of it's the staple, isn't it? Kind of. No,
Yeah.
I
It's
love
always on the side.
Yeah, I love
Yellow
it.
rice
It's
is
really good.
always
It's with
it's like pasta. Ugh.
it's not curry, but it's
No, I think it is like a yellow curry
no,
mixed in.
just someone else. Maybe someone else knows. All right.
Hey, anybody know what that yellow rice is that's in the chat that they put in on Middle Eastern
I'll
people in
just look it up.
Tennessee can be
I'm
close
looking it up.
friends. Yeah, you can't get that kind of food out here. I mean, the flavors in California are to die for. But anyway, to get us back
Sorry.
on track.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
look, what I do is not really that exciting. It's not. I think the part that I like is the part of retail that I like is really poker. Like all the retailers are playing poker against each other. And oh, cumin? Is that someone would put in cumin?
Cumin is
Cumin.
that's Mexican spice. It's a Mexican
Oh,
seasoning.
I'm forgetting. But anyway, so it's it's we're not it's not poker. I think maybe a better one in analogy is Clue. Like we're all
Right.
holding a hand
Right.
and we're each trying to figure out what the other person is
Is it
doing and
is it
what is
cutthroat?
selling. Retail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Retail is cutthroat. Retail is day to day cutthroat.
What was the best company you worked for?
Walmart. I didn't
Really?
even pause. Best company. They're the best, toughest, and the people are really good. I mean, I worked with a lot of the main office people, all of home. I mean, I'm it's a bunch of different people, but the culture's pretty much the same since I was there. And
So
apparel, food,
what's
they're
your
all
favorite department category in design?
in design.
Oh
I
no,
like
no. I'm sorry. What you do? I don't mean to call.
in product development.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
What's your favorite category?
that I got to do. I liked all of it. Wow, I liked all of it. I didn't have one. I could do.
I remember we worked together a lot when you were at Do It Best.
Yeah,
Okay, you were in the barbecues and pellet
yeah, yeah,
grills and
yeah,
we talked a lot of shop,
yeah.
but you
Do
were
best.
just as excited to work outdoors as indoors.
Yeah, I loved it. Look, do best is a great. It was a great place to learn, and I got to do outdoor and holiday. And I was a senior buyer at the time. I loved it. I loved it. It was
Oh,
great. The people are the nice. God, they're the nicest people in that company. I think the whole state's really nice. Just they're nice in a
you're
way.
talking Indiana,
Indiana, yeah, they're nice in a way that I just had never experienced.
right?
I mean, I don't. I mean, the people in California are different nice, but Indiana's like really not southern nice. Southern nice is much more. It's much more traditional, gracious. But Indiana, they're friendly, like I want to say neighborly in a way, without sounding hokey. And that is just so something I just wasn't really used to.
It's interesting because they have the kindness of Southerners, the Southern kindness,
Yeah.
but they don't act like Southerners. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mm-hmm.
really family, friends, nice. I mean, they're really nice when they're nice to you. In California, you can't tell.
What? Who is really
You know,
nice?
when somebody's nice to you in California, they're probably putting a knife in your back. But when it comes to Indiana, they're truly nice. I mean, they literally mean bless your heart. They don't mean go screw
They
yourself.
wouldn't say "bless your heart," though. They just no,
That's what
no,
I'm
they're not.
saying. They're
No,
not
no, no, no. I look. I disagree. I think someone from the South will say "bless your heart," right? Someone from the North, they're probably they will tell you. They will tell you the South is much more about being appropriate. They're not going to go. They're not going to lose their cool. I mean, look, people do, but I'm just saying it's if in an uncomfortable situation, they, the taking the respectable position is always the best. But the North is not, in my experience, just doesn't react the same way.
right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I liked both places. Both, look, I don't live there, so I mean, I liked living there for a short period of time. Um, but the people were really sweet. Both places,
No,
Arkansas, they were really sweet, and
and
in
by the way, you'd say they weren't sweet if they weren't sweet. You would be honest.
of course I would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
when Jim says they're sweet, he really means it.
yeah, I mean,
In case you
they
guys are
were
wondering.
really. Look, my dog got out and ran into the next neighborhood in Arkansas, and my neighbor went and got the dog while I was at work, brought him back, and it happened to and got bit. Happened again, got bit again, and I didn't find out until the third time the dog got out. I didn't find out that the one first, and I never spoke to that neighbor. Never. I don't even know the guy's name. He was my neighbor. I'm from California, so we don't really
Right.
talk to our neighbors. So I'm
Right.
like, he was so, and he was not well at the time. He
Right.
was so, like, you can't make people like that's like a story.
I
Like,
know. I get it. Because
yeah, I
we've
mean,
never
so like
seen that kind of
they
kindness.
were really, really. They're not doing that in Indiana. They're never doing that in California. So there's a different type of responsibility they have in the
Right.
South that I didn't see in the North. Having said that, I related more to Northern culture
Hmm.
just because it's much more casual. It's much more casual. Like,
I got a question real quick.
yeah,
Gatsby's asking you, what do you think the current state of affairs at Target? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I know. God, I know that's really bad. I know Target was in the news. I
It's
don't
go
know.
up and down the past few years, good and bad, up and down, you
Target's
know.
always done that. Target bounces back. Look, there's no one. The thing about Target is no one directly competes with them. So Target is when they brought out brands from Barney's and Bergdorf Goodman all the way down and did a whole line. I mean, they really, they really, have a place in retail very differently than Walmart, right? And
Right.
and that they compete a little bit with Walmart, and then they compete with that mid upper tier. I mean, they've got some brands like Bloomingdale's does.
Right.
So no, Target's very different. Look, they're going to bounce back. Right now, the economy's a little bit, uneasy, and people are a little hesitant. So
Right.
I think that's going to affect the higher end at mass, the higher end product at mass.
So, do you remember when I was in Arkansas going to Walmart, and they had a whole store inside the office,
Yeah.
a whole Walmart store.
Yeah.
Everything was covered, everything was dated,
Yeah.
everything was demographic.
The layout center. So, I mean, you have to have that in order to see what the customer is seeing and where it gets placed on the modular or on the shelf. You have to see that.
So you would
I
know
think,
by demographic, each Walmart store would have this many Hispanics, this many blacks,
yeah, there's
this many
each,
whites.
yep, stores are traded. I
Wow.
don't know if they're doing that today, but
Right.
I mean, it's a way of understanding why these 5 stores in southern Texas are going through this product, or why the stores in Arizona are doing this product. It's if you understand, because then you can say, oh, they're buying this. I know this goes with that too. Maybe I'll see if they want that. So you can trait a store according to region. I think that's pretty much how they do it now versus, you know, Caucasian,
Right,
African,
right.
Hispanic. I
So
think, but at one time we were looking at it, and when I had frames, picture frames, which is a massive category, um, yeah, the Hispanic stores would buy one type of, the majority of one type of finish, and African American would buy one type of, the majority of that one
you
type of
knew
finish.
it
And
down to a dime. You knew it.
because
Perfect.
because it's such a massive business, and one movement or decision will mean millions of dollars.
So I would see a clock on the shelf, and it would say 20% Hispanic, 10% Black. I mean, it broke down percentages of who would buy that.
Yeah, they never used the word black, but yes,
Oh, what did they use?
African American at the time. That's what.
I don't remember the
No, I
science,
know, but that's why
but I
I want.
remember they'd break it down
Yeah,
according to
yeah,
person.
yeah, 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 and that's important. I don't know if they do that now. I think they do it. I think they just do it by sales, um, and how many stores it's in.
Right.
So, and what the cost is, what the retail is, and maybe what the markup is, what the
Okay.
margin percent.
So let me ask you about a current event,
All right, ask me.
something kind of middle of the road current event.
All right, because look, just because I'm not tall doesn't mean I don't have opinions.
Oh
And
no,
Paul and I agree
I
on
know.
nothing.
Right. Well, me
Okay.
and you don't either a lot,
Yeah.
but you're always respectful. Doesn't matter. Always. I always say that about Charles too. He's
You say
atheist,
that
but
about
he's
Chaw?
always respectful.
You say that about Chaw?
Yeah, he respects my faith. He
Oh,
never,
wait.
ever
But
knocks
that's
it.
separate. But wait, him respecting your faith is different than him being respectful in general.
No, he is respectful. He is.
You think Charles respectful? Oh, I mean, maybe.
He gets more bitey than you. You just shut down. You're like, okay, whatever.
I mean,
And
I don't say
I'm gone.
whatever. I just know that I'm not here on the planet to change your mind.
Right. So let's ask you a current
All
event.
right, ask me anything.
Okay. My opinion is Starbucks is going to die quickly
Why would you say that? Like, why would you say that?
because
Dude, I don't. I have no idea if
where I
Starbucks.
live, there's Dutch Brothers going
Yeah,
nationwide, open their 1,000th store.
I know.
There's
But Jack,
Seven Brew.
but
There's
you make
Ripe.
this. Wait, you make this broad statement. How do you know how many stores they have?
Yeah, I know, but they're hurting now. They're
Wait,
hurting bad. The people are on strike. I mean, the whole thing's crumbling.
wait. It's not all crumbling. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. They have what, tens of thousands of
Uh,
stores, and they have it all over the world. I
right?
think because they're not doing, from your perspective, well.
They
Wait,
know
let me
because
finish.
they had no competition. That's
Okay.
why.
Well, I would disagree. But having said that, just because you see them not doing well in Tennessee doesn't mean that the multi-billion-dollar company Starbucks is doing bad.
Wait, when a woman with a beard's complaining she can't wear the clothing that she wants
Wait, did you
at
say a woman with a
Starbucks,
beard?
yeah, the employees are on strike.
Wait, why do you
They
say
sh-
woman with a beard
She is. She was a woman with a beard.
that you
She was
spoke to
well, she was probably transitioning.
in Tennessee
No, no, no. On the news, online, complaining about
online?
Starbucks
Wait,
and their dress
they
attire.
found the only transitioning woman that clearly looked like a woman with a beard
I
and
doubt
said,
she's the
"Wait,
only one in the
wait."
universe, dude.
Well, the only one that's working at Starbucks, and they said, "Hey, excuse me, um, whoever, sir, I'd like to interview you
Sir.
I
Okay.
mean, for Starbucks. Could you please represent the multi-billion-dollar
No, they didn't talk
worldwide?"
to her. She was screaming.
And then,
They
oh, so the
filmed it.
cameras. All right, I look. I'm just trying to get a picture of this. So then the cameraman said, "Hey, let's get the girl that looks like a beard that could be transitioning on film screaming."
She was leading the protest for that day. They were marching outside, and
Okay, so she was it a formal protest? Look, I just was it a formal protest?
do
And
you not
Starbucks?
know they were on strike or they're on strike?
No, I mean they're doing. I got coffee the other day.
You go
I
to,
got coffee fine. I
oh,
mean,
you go to Starbucks?
I yeah, I did the other day.
Do
I
you
don't.
like Starbucks? Do you like the flavor?
Yeah. Wait, Jack. It's the Frappuccino. Who doesn't like flavor? Their
Well,
flavor.
because their
It's
beans
usually the price
taste
that people don't
burnt.
like.
No,
What?
no, their beans are burnt.
Their beans are burnt.
Yeah,
Well,
roasted. You know when you roast coffee.
I look. I'm getting a Frappuccino. I don't even know if they even use beans. It's like it's like a dessert.
Okay.
It's caffeine.
Well, anyway,
I mean, look. If
uh,
I'm going to get an iced coffee, I'm going to go to McDonald's. It's just easier.
I'm with you on that. I totally
Yeah, I
agree.
mean, yeah, and then I get them. I get like a mocha iced coffee.
I get the
Easy ice.
sugar-free vanilla
What?
iced coffee.
You
Yeah,
get sugar-free vanilla.
yeah, it's a sugar-free vanilla iced coffee.
All right,
That's
all right.
like our go-to. Like when we go play bingo, we grab one of those and go to bingo.
You play bingo.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Do you remember the show? Remember the TV show, The Jokesters? What was their name? They
With
were
the
the
four
guy.
guys.
Yeah, from New York.
Yeah, I don't think they're funny.
Okay. One of the punishments on that show,
Yeah.
every number, he had to yell bingo, starting with the third number.
That's
Of
funny.
course, if you've ever played bingo, you know
Yeah.
three numbers ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
I never saw so many irate old ladies.
I can't watch that show.
Oh my God.
I
No,
can't watch
dude.
it.
I,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm embarrassed. I don't know why. I think I'm like some audience members, like I think some audience people love that show. They love it.
right.
And for me, I'm like, ooh, oh God, I'm just embarrassed. I'm like, don't do that. Just leave them alone. I don't know.
Matt says he likes you. You're way more rational and hasn't had his brain cooked by TikTok conspiracies. See, that's how people talk. They think they're creative and witty, and they say stupid statements like that
Wait. What was stupid about it?
because it's you can't even read the attack. He's poking at me.
Oh,
He's
could it have been a
poking at me.
compliment? Wait, Jack, the world isn't wired to your butt. Could it have been about me?
Well,
Could it have been a compliment about me?
it was. He likes you, and he called me a TikTok conspiracy guy.
Do you
Basically,
watch TikTok?
I haven't watched TikTok in half a year.
So maybe it's not about you. Maybe
Trust
it's
me.
not about you. I didn't think it was
I've
about you.
read
I didn't even
I've read these comments for a decade.
Jack, but it could not be. Maybe it really wasn't about you,
Okay.
right? I don't
Okay.
see it as about you. I don't see you
Because
as
you're not reading this every day.
all right.
You
Well,
don't
all right. Let's just assume that it wasn't. Let's assume in positive intent.
really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think of you as a whack job most of the time. I mean, I don't. I mean, you and I don't agree on most, but
Okay.
I don't,
I would be fine with Jim being a possible replacement for Charles. Is that an attack? Is that a good comment? Is that can you read into that comment?
yeah. Look,
Yeah, can you? Is it obvious that they don't like Charles?
Chal is, but Chal like doesn't care about that, and I think it's important to get along
Oh,
with
I
him.
know. The fact that he doesn't care is hilarious.
I know, but I mean that makes him compelling. I'm not compelling, and
Oh no,
I
you
think it's
are.
important. You know, I think it's important to get along with people, and I care what people think.
And okay, that's why I always say I'm half you, half Charles, because I care what people think. But on the other hand, at a certain point, it's like, well, screw you. There's
All
nothing
right,
I can do about it.
I'll give you that. I can see that.
So I'm emotional, if you want to go with that,
Yeah,
like
no, I think
you.
you're emotional.
No, I think you're emotional.
I'm not
You're good.
emotional.
You're good. No, no, no. Emotional doesn't mean negative. You take it as that, but you're good with your emotions. You know exactly where you land, what you're feeling, and why you're feeling it.
I,
Charles is just like 1 plus 1 is 2.
well, no, he's very reactive. You know,
Yeah.
Charles is very reactive. And
So I get that. I'm emotional like you, but I'm also logical like him.
look, I think because Charles is so smart, um, and he gets his environment, family and friends and work that he has, it allows him to be that, you know. And
How funny is he though? Come on.
Charles
Yeah,
funny.
he can
Yeah,
be
I mean,
hilarious.
we haven't spent. I think I was over there the other day. We haven't really spent time like yucking it up. But Charles funny. Yeah, Charles probably one of the funniest people. Like
I,
I mean, like, when all three of us are in the room,
it's a riot.
it's very different because then we revert back to when we're kids, and I
You know.
think that wasn't like the best time for me. So while you guys are like doing whatever you do, yeah, I'm gonna kind of just
That's so
probably
interesting because high school wasn't the best time for me.
okay.
What?
I mean, like,
Well, no, you said childhood. Mine was more. My issues were more in the high school years.
so you went through a
Personally,
lot of emotional,
oh my god, do you know how
yeah,
many times I used to cry to the Tears for Fears album? I was a
really?
mess, dude. I didn't have a wait. Don't you remember? I didn't have a girlfriend till I was like 18.
I always remember you being really popular. Like
Uh, I
what led
was, but
Okay,
when it,
so let's start there.
okay,
So okay, so yes, you were popular, and high school was tough for you, like every other American. Okay, so I want to just put that into perspective. Okay, so yes, but I'm not, the reason why I'm saying that, not to discount your feelings, not. What I'm saying though is you weren't abnormal, Jack. You went through high school. High school sucks. And so you are normal, like every other kid that's in high school. High school's awful. And
well,
so that's all.
I know when you were popular. Just, I
Let's
mean,
be real clear. I was popular in college. I was not popular in high school, not for the right reasons.
I was like president of the chess club, president of the computer club. I was a
And
big nerd.
you weren't wrestling. You weren't a nerd. You weren't a nerd. You weren't a nerd, and I don't know anybody at the school that thought you were a nerd.
I felt like a nerd.
Okay, that's not the same as being known as a nerd.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So wait, just
Wait, wait,
wait.
wait. Who else do you know would show up at high school 5:30 in the morning to be on the only computer in the entire school?
Look, I don't. That doesn't make you. That doesn't make you abnormal. That just makes you had an interest with it, and it was really busy, and you wanted to go like that. But let's not rewrite history. You were on the wrestling team, guys. You had a lot of friends. You had a lot of friends. The fact
Yeah.
that you were awkward. The fact that you were
I had
awkward.
some really bad friends though.
Uh, you had friends. The
You
fact that
had good friends. You had some good ones like Teresa,
I had,
Elizabeth.
I had, God, high school was horrific for me. We're not,
I
we're not,
didn't realize you thought that.
yeah, no, no, but we're not comparing. But I want to wait. I just want to say that uh, from my perspective and how people thought of you, you were popular, you were funny, you were gregarious, you were. people person. Like,
Oh my God, I felt totally opposite in
no,
high
no,
school.
of course, but you're high school. Everybody feels that way. That's
Yeah.
so like, and you got in a couple of fights, I think, and
I've only been in 2 fights in my whole life.
but I'm saying, but you could, people kind of had a little bit of respect for you. Like, you weren't people, and the people that I knew, I don't know anything being negative about you that anybody said. I'm not aware of it. I mean, maybe I'm sure there is, but I'm not aware of it.
I don't know. I just know that was a rough time. My
But
childhood
it's
wasn't that
high
bad.
school. I know, but I want to make sure that in your head you're not rewriting history. You were funny and you were good looking and you were tough and you were smart. You got good grades. Like, I don't know, where you were living, but the person that we
Wow,
all knew as
that
Jack.
sounds like somebody I knew, but it wasn't me.
Yeah, but I think because everybody's insecure in high school. You're going through all those hormones and chemicals and like trying to fit in and figure out who you are and where you have to go after high school. But you were kind of cool and funny. Like, so
That's so weird. I never thought that.
I know that's why. But the more you perpetuate this, it was awful. It was awful. You had look. Maybe you were crying inside, but you looked like you were having a ball in high school. Everybody knew you. Everybody liked you.
I hated every year.
I know,
Hated.
but everybody hates high
Because,
school. I
yeah.
mean, the majority. Most
Yeah.
people. It's just
That's
painful.
when I realized people can be really mean, really cruel.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you realized that in high school. I realized that much earlier.
Yeah. Took me to high school to find that
All
out.
right, so lucky you.
Jim seems like a cool outsider who was misunderstood in high school. He would have been hanging out in my art class. Cool.
I wasn't that talented to hang out with art
But
people.
you were very theatrical. You were in theater.
Oh, theatrical. I was theatrical, but I wasn't in theater.
Oh no, you were in theater.
I
You
mean, I
did
did a couple of plays. Oh
you
God.
wait. You toured on play. You just didn't show up in the gym and act like a tree. Okay? You literally went on tour.
I No, not in high school. I didn't go on tour.
When did you do High Tops that was on tour?
Yeah, not in high school. That was college.
Wh- Had you just graduated?
No.
I thought it was high school.
You thought it was high school?
I don't know.
No. I
Dude,
was
I was
I was
so
a Christian
oblivious.
going to it was a Christian musical, so I was in Bible college. Yeah, I was
Oh,
in Bible college.
got
It
it.
was I mean that was yeah, I was older and yeah, I was one of the great experience. I'm lucky I had really good experiences.
Redlow says Jim is unbiased and leaves emotions out.
I try. I try to. Like I try.
Oh no, I'm horrible at it. You know what? I try to be the number one thing I try to be is whether I disagree with whatever they say, whether they hit at me, whether I still try to be caring. I
You should try to
still
be what? Caring?
respectful and caring to everybody in
Yeah.
the chat, whether they agree with me or think I'm a big, bald, fat white guy. Uh,
But look,
you know what? They have the choice to believe whatever they want.
and look, you're bold. Charles Bold.
Right.
That's just never served me well. It's just never served me well. And
So,
so
are you reserved? Do you feel?
I'm not. I'm careful. I'm measured. I'm measured. Look, I'm gonna give you and I'm gonna like if you ask me about guns, if you ask me about religion, if you ask me about abortion, I've got a position.
Right.
And the problem that I think some people have is they want me to say, oh yay or nay. I often understand why both sides. I understand both sides. I really do understand. Like if you would ask, we'll take guns for example.
Okay.
Okay, take guns. That's a touchy. And before I lived in Arkansas, I was like, there's no reason for a gun. I'm not into guns. I don't get them. I've never seen one. I've never. But then when you're in Arkansas and the nearest, in some neighborhoods, neighbor is an hour and a half away from you, and you hear, I was over a friend's house, and you hear something in the middle of the night, I wanted 4 guns. I was like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I wouldn't even know how to shoot a gun. You have to have, you have to. You have to. I don't care. Now, I know there's a bunch of gray. It's in the gray that is the fight.
Right.
It's not my fight. It's not my fight. But you have to have a gun. And there are parts of Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi when you're all out there by yourself, you have to have a gun. Even if it's not another human being, you have to have a gun. I remember when I was in Alaska, I was hiking. And the sign says, it gives as a 10 steps of what to do when you see a bear. And it's like, don't approach. And if the bear comes at you, it's got, and then finally step 9, when the bear's like on top of you, it's like, it says fight like hell. Literally, that's not a joke. It says like fight. Like I want a gun. Like I want 5 guns. I want like a bazooka. Like so I get it. I get it. I get that people like to hunt. I get it. I do. And I didn't get it until I wasn't, until I was around it. And then I thought,
Interesting.
talking about it, it reminds me of this trend. Okay. Go down the road with me for a minute. So when I first left California, went to Walmart, and we were going on trend shopping. Trend shopping is when you're looking at what's going to happen next. And you're looking at just, look at all the retailers, look at trend places that are known for being on the edge. Okay.
Aggressive. Right.
Super progressive in design and color. And so you go all over the US. So one of the things I remember when I came back, so I've been in Arkansas, I'm going to say a couple of years. I come back to California, and we see a guy, he's shaved head, he's got, I'm going to call it.
Oh, those people with shaved heads, can't trust them.
What is that white t-shirt? I know the bad, what is it?
The wife beaters?
Yeah, but it's not a good word. It's called,
That's all I know it as.
No, I do too, but it's an A, called an A shirt. Is that what it's
I
called?
think it's like a tank top undershirt.
Yeah, but it's not.
I don't
But
know.
okay, but it's that. And
All right.
then
We'll go with wife beater.
and the guy had big army boots, and he had tattoos all over, and he was wearing a skirt, like a small pleated black skirt. And I thought, what am I looking at? Like, what?
Where was this? In Arkansas?
LA?
Oh, LA.
So was in Arkansas, went to California to do trend shopping, and we get up, or first day we see this, and I'm like, what is that? Like, what trend is that? Where is that? Who is that? Why is that? And I'm going to say the year again is, 07, 08. I'm like, what? So then a couple of years go on, a year or so, and then I'm in New York, and I see a similar outfit with another pleated skirt on a similar type of guy. Guy was like buff, big. I'm like, what? And everybody, same group, were like, what? And we're all looking, and he's owning it, man. He is owning it. And I was
Maybe
like,
he was Scottish or something. Did he have bagpipes?
no. He had he was dressed the same way. He had like this t-shirt on and big army boots and shaved and tats, but I was like, but he was like 6'4" or something and weighed like 350 pounds. He was a big guy. I was like, what is that about? Then the next year, I don't remember where we were. It wasn't California. It wasn't New York. It was another city. It might have been Chicago. We all saw something that was very similar to that trend. And we all stopped, and I thought, I could so rock that trend. I thought I could totally pull that off. And I thought, what? I would never do that. But I thought, what is that? And we all laughed because we
Did
all
that become a trend for a while or what?
No, it is a little trend that's out there. But at the time, we were all kind of like, we'd gone through this transition of what is this that's so offensive to my eye to, hmm, I'm kind of, I can kind of see that. Not maybe for me, but I can kind of see that. And so my point is, just like trend, unless you're exposed to it, you don't understand it. So that's why people that I want to say they're in Ohio or they have small towns and they're not looking at, what Pottery Barn is doing or Restoration Hardware is doing or Crate and Barrel or, Barney's not even around anymore. But any of they're not flipping through the magazines or not looking at, fashion news and they have families. And so when they go to the store, they're buying something much more traditional, something they know they feel comfortable in. So they're not seeing what's new. They're not around it. They're not exposed to it. Just like I changed my position about guns. I hadn't been around it. I hadn't been exposed to it. And so,
I get that. No, I get that because
and I
I've
think,
changed my viewpoint being more around something and growing accustomed to it
right,
and realizing why it happens for
right,
whatever
right,
reason.
right.
And
That,
then you understand more.
and I think that's why when I talk about people from China and how much they actively, openly, because they're very reserved, the people that I've spoken to. Yes, there are some that are not reserved. So I'm painting with a broad brush, but I think they are they're actively, openly, they really love us. Like they watch our shows and they watch the shows from the 50s and
Wait,
60s and 70s
who
and 80s.
does? Who are you talking about?
Everybody,
Right.
like even small town. Not now. If I go to Vietnam, that's different. That's not. They don't. That's not something they don't talk
You're
about.
talking internationally.
I'm
Are you
talking.
talking just
I'm talking.
China?
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you
I'm talking to people
Okay,
in China. Yeah, yeah.
got it.
I
All right.
mean, with translators, but they're like, but like I can go to the south. I can go to Shanghai. They, whether it's a city or not, small, and they are like, tell us what it's like to live in America. It is really cool. It is really cool to be appreciated
So
in a
you
way.
sound like you're saying we have no idea what the people are like, that we are shown something completely
Oh
different
goodness.
here in
I
America.
don't even I don't even know. I don't even look at the news. Yesterday, I'm sitting in my office, and the chairman. I sit next door. My office is right next door to the chairman of the company, of a multi-billion-dollar company. It's not like a small company. And the chairman has on his big screen one of the news channels, and I haven't been able to figure it out if he's flipping through the channels, but they're or if they're taped because I think and they are and I recognize some of the newscasters' voices, but I'm not like because I'm sitting in my office and they are bad mouthing China and the people, and and I'm looking down the hall, and these are people that I really care about, and they're looking, and I'm like, and they're like, they know I know that's not China does. Like I separate the government from people because I don't know the government. Like if you said Jim, what's the government like? I'm like I've never met them. I don't know the policy. I don't know, but I can talk to what the people are, what they're
It's
like.
interesting.
They're really, and they the people, the Chinese people that come to the U.S. and get to stay for a while, they love it. And it makes my eyes water. They love it. They love the movie theaters. They love the malls. They love our cars. They love everything about us in a way that we don't even talk about our own culture. And
Interesting.
it was really hard. It was an hour
It
and a
was
half.
eye opening, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it was hard for me to listen to the Americans on the TV really bash.
Bashing. Right.
It, it was just really hard. It was heartbreaking, and I wanted to just go. It's just TV. It's just TV. They don't mean you. I don't know. If I went to China and they were bad mouthing the US, I don't care what any Chinese person would say. I would be like, I would be like, I would be really upset about them talking bad about Americans. And I wouldn't care if someone said, "No, Jim, we really,
Right.
we really don't feel that way about you." I would be
So
really, upset.
Guts is saying that he thinks it's definitely changing a lot more in China with the younger generation. Okay, that they're a lot more open to Western ways than we give them credit.
Look, I am not disagreeing. I don't deal a lot with. I don't. Okay, let's break that down. I think there's yes, he's right, um, but the part because they just are not trusting of us. But if you talk to their family members, they watch and know. The older they know about our culture, they know it. They love it. They love the baseball games and the apple pie, and they
So when
love
did you
all of
realize this? Like the first time you went ever,
I
or you took it
I get
once?
hit. So I've been about 20, 25 times. I get hit with that every time. Every time. And so like now your F is in Frank just popped up.
What?
It just popped up.
The logo?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, just now. So my point is whether the older ones are much more reserved, way more reserved, because I think they have so much about what they've been told about Americans. Look, I get it. So and when I go to those older factories where their people are older, they're older. They're older. They have weird questions like, you know, what was school like? What kind, what time, like, what do you do? Like they want to, like, what do you do on a Saturday? Like, where do you go shopping? Like,
Right.
what do you eat for breakfast? What's your favorite? Do you drink milk? I mean, like, they just, they,
Analyze everything.
they, but they don't have that about other countries. They have it about the US.
It's like an infatuation.
It infatuation feels like it's not like it's fleeting. I mean, I've been going there since 2000, 25. So it's not infatuation. I'm just, I think they have a real interest of knowing and understanding like who we are and why we are like here. Like, I think, Jack, that people have a problem articulating what American culture is. And I've just kind of have my own thought. I'll throw it out and you can tell me what you think. Because I'm open. Look, I'm open to changing my position. People are like, well, what is our culture? Like, we have a lot of culture. We have a lot of different cultures, depending on where you go in the US. But the thing that we have all in common, the thing that we have all in common, and you're going to get it. The minute I say it, you're going to go, yeah, you're right. We break rules. We break rules. We
So
you can't hold us in a box. You
right.
can't restrict us. You put an American in the middle of a European room, and we will figure out what are the boundaries. And if you tell a group of Americans, no, you tell a group of Europeans, and there's one American in there, and they go, okay, so you're not allowed to. The very first thing an American goes, oh, I bet I'm not allowed. We break rules and we break boundaries and we question everything and we challenge everything and we ask, why can't it be this way? Or why can't
We
they
challenge everything.
that is who we are, and that is not the way people are. I always thought everybody was like, they're not. We are like that, and we're like that all over the US. You go to Seattle, you go to New Orleans, and you go to Dallas, and you go to Manhattan. They're all, you put them all, they're all doing it with an accent, but they're all like, well, who says I can't do that? They're like, and I like, so like I always think, like, would another big country that we always get scared of, we've been told, that want to take over us, they don't want to take over. They know we're a hot mess. They know that no country could take us over. We break rules. That's why I'll look at all the different type of movies where there are, either invasions from other worlds. I'm like, look, I don't know other cultures like I have, stereotypes of other countries, but we break rules. We dress how we want, we say what we want, and we ask, why can't I, wherever, whether we're in the US or not. And that's kind of what the country was founded on. We're like, look, even if we want to do religion, look, we did religion. We just didn't want to do it the way everybody was telling us. We're like, well, I don't want to, we'll create our own version of that, but I don't want you to tell me that is who we are. And right, wrong, or indifferent comes a lot of freedoms, and it comes a lot of hassles, and you get a lot of, you can have a lot of conflict but it's still who we are.
Would you be open to coming back on the show and doing Q&A?
I don't think I'm that interesting. I don't know what people would want.
I know. Yeah. All right. So once again, would you come back on the show and do Q&A?
Let me think about it. I'll think about it.
Because they're asking good questions, they're making good comments.
All right.
And I think it would be interesting to them. They would learn more.
All right. Look, if they're asking, for sure, if they're asking and they want to talk, I can only give my perspective and point of view. I'm not,
we're not going to get like heavy duty into topics. We're just going to chat.
No, we can get a heavy duty topics. I don't argue like you and Chal. I don't. So like, I'm always going to be, yeah, I understand that position. Or, because I usually do. If I don't understand it, I'm like, I still don't understand where you're coming from. I understand why you're there.
Right. Okay, because I didn't want to keep you too long. You already dedicated a whole hour to this, and I appreciate it.
Because I'm super, super important and super busy.
Oh, please. Wait, how many jobs you work?
Yeah,
you're always working.
Yeah.
And you have side projects. I didn't want to talk about that. Yeah. But anyway, we can get more into other topics later.
I'm happy. Look, I'm happy to always communicate, what my experiences are and hear other people's point of view. I think it's important. I think it's important to connect. So for sure. I'm happy to do it.
All right. So let me survey everybody and get some feedback and see if they would like you to come back on.
All right. And if they don't, I respect that. Like it's their channel.
No. I know already, but I just like to do the due diligence.
All right.
So
you want to do the what?
I just do my due diligence of surveying them later.
I thought you were flubbing up the word. I was just going to give you a hard time.
No, I didn't.
No, you did.
I speak for a living. I don't flub up words.
Right.
I try not
to. Do you need for anything else? We're good? Or do I wait?
I'm going to let you go.
How do I just close my computer?
Just shut it down, and it should say end stream on or leave room.
It says leave stream. Well, this was fun. I forget. But this is like us talking normally.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to really kind of interact with everybody, I think, because I'm still a little trying
That's to why the next time I have you on, we'll go with that format.
All right.
To where we'll field more questions and we'll interact with everybody else.
All right. I'm happy to do it.
Okay. And at the top of the screen, it tells you how many people are on.
I don't even
know. Should be numbers up there.
Yeah, total 32. All right, nice.
Yeah. All right.
Nice. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Right. I love you.
I love you too. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, take care.
All right, bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.